badly am I doing, Michael?
I don't know, because I don't remember what it is to be as terrible as you are, so...
Yeah.
No idea. I'm sure you'll be fine, though.
That stupid pilot can't navigate at all.
Do it.
Use the mag before they leave.
Good job.
I feel a bit exposed here, Plastic.
Don't worry. You're shielded by their interference field.
But what if someone sees me? You know, with their eyes?
Oh, well, they probably won't.
Okay, where do I get off?
At the landing pad, of course. Then make your way through the maintenance tunnels to the big dog, where their service stacks are. Faith, you're diverting the VTOL to construction. You have to get off.
What the hell? I can't let go here.
No, don't kill yourself. That would be stupid. I mean, get off when they pass by the building.
Oh Christ, okay.
Faith, get off now.
I don't think this is down to you.
Okay, that's fine. No.
Okay, I'm at the top of the pump. Nothing broken.
I don't think you can stop
Sorry
that.
about that. My override didn't work. You have to make your way over to the big dog.
Okay, now we're trying to figure out how to get to... Is it the dogs they call it?
To access prisoner data, you have to connect to the main server stack in the big dog.
Ooh.
It's seamless. Should be talking about that now, though.
Oh, I was holding the fucking thing again. So, that was just luck. No. Ah, oh, god damn it.
Such a terrible feeling. Having a friend who's such a dunce. No, I mean the following.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to actually tell you that this is one of those moments where other games would tell you that that's way out of reach, but this game is not that game. You just have to jump at it is all.
Oh my god, your mic fucked up and that was horrific.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You'll hear it later, that was horrible.
Don't twist my words.
Just anything, but not my words.
I do, and it would be.
Not like the
I was thinking or coffee or.
I'm at the bottom of the elevator shaft. What next?
Let's check.
Remember what you've learned.
You're close to the umbilical. Make your way through maintenance to the...
What are you doing there, buddy? Is there something under here?
No. Just wanted to... Okay.
Remember you have shift as well. Yeah, that's not quite how the momentum of this game works.
Fuck!
What are you doing?
Building my momentum!
What is this? No, you only need to do it for like a second before you make the climb, man.
Ah.
What am I looking at?
Well, I did it.
I mean, you're up. Well done, but what the hell am I looking at?
I don't think this is right.
No, okay. So I'm going to talk you through a little technique here, and I think this is what's going on. Drop down. Soft land. God.
I was holding down the whole time.
But if you jump from back a bit, she will still do the wall climb, and then you'll have a bit of distance from the ground on what you had before. If that makes sense.
Not really.
Your reach, in a sense, is governed by where you're looking. So if you are looking too down, once you jump up to something that's a bit higher than usual, then
fuck's sake. Wait. No, that's
yeah,
better.
That's fine.
This better be worth it.
Think I died?
I think if not, you're shattered.
Yeah.
I mean, poor girl. What you're doing to her, just on a minute-by-minute basis, it's horrifying.
That's not the first time you said that to me.
Yeah, I know it won't be the last.
Ah.
I know I don't want it to be the last.
Oh shit, the court case is pending. We cannot put this in the video.
What happened to your family?
They're in the Greylands. Why?
How come you're not with them?
The fan system, you're at the
I have a brother that dresses like a sister.
heart of Krugersec in glass.
Do you?
Is that offensive?
There.
I have a sister with a lisp that Michael once took the mick out of. Broke her spirit.
Didn't take the nick out of her. Second,
This is horrendous. He just kept going after her. In a way, I've never seen Michael go after someone before.
I literally did no more than mention she had a lisp.
Ruined her psyche.
Wasn't even his sister. This man is a liar and a manipulator of his friends. He has no care for anything but himself.
And
Everything's a game to him. Everything's a joke.
Once you get through the fan system, you're at the
And pay attention, Rita.
yeah, alright.
the heart of Krugersec in glass. I wish I could be there.
Just seems to want me to just... Oh. What?
You should connect to one of the
Job.
priorities.
You do this just to spite me, don't you?
A little...
Surely can't be worth it.
Oh, you have no idea.
Being ourselves.
Do you think I could just drop onto that?
Yeah. Faith is a ninja. If you let her be.
Faith's a ninja, except when she falls.
Yeah, she's like a cat with Down syndrome.
Cat with no legs and double Down syndrome.
Connect to one of the priority switches. Then I can
You want to fill people in on what double Down syndrome is?
Not now.
Do it now. It seems like the right setting.
Okay, well, double Down syndrome. What? Oh God!
Go ahead, explain it.
Why don't you explain it?
Because I'm playing.
Yeah, that's a good point. I just don't feel like this is the moment.
Yeah, just go for it. It's fine. Why isn't
I
this
feel
the
like
moment?
this is the game.
Maze.
Yeah, well, it wasn't
I
designed
don't think we have to be playing some freaky horror game, and then I'll explain it.
Just explain it now.
Resident Evil.
I bet it's beautiful.
I'll explain it then.
Why not explain it now when we're talking about it?
You should know that when you connect me,
What's so goddamn
don't have
special
to
about this? Do you honestly think you and me talking about this isn't going to ruin the moment more than you just going, oh, here's a quick fun anecdote?
I'd ask you to describe the room, but I guess you're
Something fun about the anecdote. It's a sick joke about
expense
an
of-
unfortunate class of people. So I feel very comfortable displaying it over a Mirror's Edge playthrough. Thank you very much.
You do feel comfortable over other playthroughs.
Oh yeah.
You're
disguises itself.
you're strange, man.
Forget I asked. I'm
It's
sure you
more,
were.
Not quirky strange,
it
just strange and pathetic.
You know, it allows itself to blend in. It doesn't pop out so much that it would cause any sort of...
It wouldn't have popped out if you just said it. It's still time, you can edit it together.
Absolutely would have popped out. It would have popped out because Because it would have been, oh, hey, they weren't talking about anything. Then all of a sudden, Jamie said, tell them this thing. I was intrigued, perplexed, one might say.
But it wasn't like that. It was, oh, we were talking about double Down syndrome. Oh, and for those who don't know what double Down syndrome is, this is what it is.
Talking about double Down
but
syndrome.
We were.
You accused yourself of having the finesse of a cat with double Down syndrome, and then you asked me to tell the story.
That's talking about double. Yes, that's talking about double Down syndrome.
You weren't talking about it. You just said the words.
All right,
That's talking about it.
Connecting to a priority switch
That's
now.
bullshit, my man. And
It's
you know it.
absolutely not.
Come up. Diving in.
Okay, so if I say,
Always am.
Subway.
I have access.
What was that? I was like, oh, just earlier I was just talking about Subway. I was like, no, you weren't. You just said the word Subway.
Yeah, but that's
no, I was
not what
talking about
happened.
it because that's the same thing.
But that's not what happened.
Wait, one more thing.
It absolutely. Okay, well then let me make it a more relevant example then. It's like saying, oh, he looks like a.
No, what it's the equivalent of doing is just going, oh, this guy has the vengeance of a bite of Jerry the Rat. Do you want to explain who Jerry the Rat is? That's what it is.
No, listen. If I said like, oh, that man looks like he's got some Subway on his face, and then someone said later, oh yeah, we were talking about Subway earlier. I was like, no, we weren't talking about Subway earlier. We used the word Subway to talk about something else.
Okay, I see where you're getting at, but this is where you've made your mistake. Would have made sense if I said Down syndrome, but that's not what I said. I said double Down syndrome, which doesn't exist except in our own universe.
But it doesn't
See
matter
what I'm
because
saying?
what you said was we were talking about double Down syndrome.
Yeah. Well, that was part of the conversation,
comparing
yes.
it to- Yes, but that wasn't what we were talking about.
No, but
You
as I
just said
say,
that-
we were talking about a cat with double Down syndrome. So yeah, we weren't exclusively talking about double Down syndrome.
even then, I would argue we weren't talking about the cat with double.
What were we
Down
talking
syndrome.
about
We were talking about a cat, and then you said, "Whom has double Down syndrome?" Which is something
That's
you made up
ridiculous.
and
That's like
added.
saying, so we were talking about a
no,
cat,
it's
but the
different,
second you
because-
add a stipulation,
because the
then that's
cat
no longer what the
didn't- no, the
conversation is about. That's just an add-on.
because the cat didn't exist, right? It's not like there is a cat with double Down syndrome, which we were talking about, and then you mentioned it had double Down syndrome. The cat was a regular cat until it had no legs, and then until it had double Down syndrome, which entered the conversation later as a creation of your own mind. It's not like there was this cat that existed beforehand that we were discussing whom had double Down syndrome.
Yes. But okay,
And
so
so
let me
therefore to say that
give you an equivalent of what it's about. Well, let me tell you this, okay? Oh, that cat had the bite of Jerry the Rat. Yeah. Tell him who Jerry the Rat is.
Okay.
That's what it's the equivalent of.
Yeah, and if someone said to me, oh, yeah, were you talking about, what were you guys talking about earlier? And I said, oh, we were talking about Jerry the Rat earlier. And,
Right, but I'm not saying
probably
we were just talking about Jerry the Rat.
Oh, I'm not saying the just either. I'm just saying that I don't think it includes...
Well, you are, because you're just saying, in that case, you would just say, oh, we were talking about a cat. And that's what you were saying before. You just said before we were talking about a cat with no legs until you brought that up.
The moment ago you just said that is what I was doing, but I actually wasn't finished what I was saying, and what I was saying is that I wasn't saying that we weren't just talking about Jerry the Rat. I'm saying that we weren't talking about Jerry the Rat at all, in a sense. We just said the words Jerry the Rat / we just said the words double Down syndrome. Jamie stopped moving here so that we could facilitate the concentration of this conversation, so I decided that I should probably put some images over the top to keep this segment interesting if the conversation itself wasn't interesting enough, barring, being entirely frustrating. That's my alarm, sorry. Enjoy.
But it's not just the words, Jerry the Rat, it's the implication of what goes with that as well in the context of the conversation. What you've done is you think that double Down syndrome is kind of the same as Down syndrome, as in it's just a thing, and now I'm asking you to talk about that particular thing that also has reference to a past. And this is, you kind of prove that through the subway thing. Oh, I might take the subway. Now let's talk about subway. Well, no, it didn't have anything to do with each other. You just mentioned the subway. Well, you've done the same thing for Down syndrome. So it's like, so if it had been Down syndrome, whoa, if it had been Down syndrome, okay, and I'd said, oh, Down syndrome. Oh, quick, tell the anecdote about Down syndrome or whatever, it would have been like, well, they're not connected. It just happens to be the Down syndrome is a concept that goes through both of them. Okay, I'd agree with you. But double down syndrome is something that doesn't exist to anyone except you and me. So hearing that, it's like, oh, what's double syndrome? Double down syndrome. It's exactly the same as Jerry the Rat. So let's explain double down syndrome. Let's explain what that is, where it comes from.
But I just like to add to this double down syndrome idea, because the fact that it's double down syndrome, which is a concept that doesn't actually exist out with what we've talked about before.
Yes.
That's not what I'm arguing. The point is how we used it doesn't allude itself to it being relevant to say we were talking about it earlier. I think that's the statement that we're discussing, or that I'm trying to discuss, in terms of not being entirely
right.
accurate.
So,
by the way, the subway example that you may be thinking that I've used is incorrect, because you said that, you know, earlier when you think I proved it because I said that, hey, I'm going to use the subway, and then if you had addressed it later on, that would be talking about the subway. And yes, that would be talking about the subway, but I wasn't saying that. I was talking about the sandwich company Subway, and I was saying that man looks like his face is in some way like a subway, or has Subway on his face. Either way, I was talking about like a deformed person.
Okay.
Whatever. But
here's what I'm going to say.
Subway, though, is not the same as discussing Subway earlier.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to say back to you. Okay.
Well, but do you agree with that, though, about the subway?
What about it? You've explained it to me. What do I agree?
That saying, oh, that man's face looks a little like Subway, is not the same as discussing Subway as much as it is just using the term Subway during another discussion.
I could use another example, because I would never just say Subway. I mean, so just pick another example. Almost could you switch Subway out and talk about a sandwich then? That face looks like a sandwich.
Okay, his face looks like a sandwich. That's not the same as we were discussing sandwiches earlier.
Sure. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll answer that in 1 second. But first, I'm just going to say this, and this is why I think it's different. As I say, existing within the context of our own reality, is let's say that we had an ongoing joke about a type of poison that was called gradadite. Okay, doesn't exist. Gradadite. Now let's say
just gradite. How easy to remember, please.
Okay, gradite. So it's like, oh shit, that man looks like he has gradite.
This is where we get into gradite, if I'm not mistaken, a rather long segment of this conversation in which we were just hiding an event and talking about this tedious topic, but important always to discuss things out with your friends. Anyway, I'm going to argue with Jamie to get the rest of it put up on the channel, but as something else, not as part of the Mirror's Edge playthrough. I don't think that would be a good idea, but we're not going to include any more of it in the actual playthrough itself, so sorry if that disappoints you, and to those who are already suffering, I do apologize.